Hello everyone. Myself Veer Kumar Japti, Assistant Professor, Kelly College of Pharmacy, Belgavi. So today I am going to discuss about limit test for sulfates. So before going to the topic limit test for sulfate, you have to know what is limit test. So for that limit test definition you have to know. So definition is these are the qualitative tests used to identify the small amount of impurities present in the substance. So if you want to check whether any impurity is present in the substance, you have to do by using the limit test. Limit test involve simple comparisons of opalescence, turbidity or intensity of color with fixed standards, right? So if you want to check how the limit test is happening, you have to check by using the opalescence, turbidity or the intensity of color is measured or checked. Limit test for chlorides, sulfates, iron, lead and heavy metals are carried out in Nessler cylinders which are made up of colorless glass and have uniform diameter and height as per specifications given in the pharmacopoeia. So limit tests are done only in Nessler cylinders and these are made up of glass which are colorless and have uniform diameter and height according to the IP, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia. And two similar kinds of Nessler cylinders are required when you are doing the limit test for any sample. So why you have to take two Nessler cylinder is one is for test, another is for standard. For making the comparison, we require two Nessler cylinders, and you have to be careful when you are doing the limit test. That is, when you are doing limit test, you have to use only distilled water or purified water, and we should not use ordinary tap water because ordinary tap water contains ions or impurities, and these ions or impurities will uh, cause the effect on the limit test. Limit test for sulfates. So coming to the topic, limit test for sulfates depends upon the interaction of sulfates with barium chloride in the presence of dilute hydrochloric acid. So we are taking sulfates and we are interacting with or reacting with barium chloride in the presence of dilute hydrochloric acid. So when you react all these three, what happens? We get the precipitate of sulfates as barium sulfate. So the reaction is as follows. So when you take barium chloride and when you treat with standard sulfate solution, that is sodium sulfate, in the presence of dilute hydrochloric acid, we get barium sulfate precipitate and sodium chloride as the soluble product. So why we have to add hydrochloric acid in the limit test for sulfate? So we have to add this hydrochloric acid because to prevent the precipitation of other acid radicals. What happens? Some of the sample which also have other radicals like phosphate, oxide or any other acid radicals, to prevent the precipitation of these radicals, we are going to add hydrochloric acid, that is dilute hydrochloric acid. Barium sulfate appears as turbidity which compared with standard Nessler cylinder. So after completion of the reaction, the turbidity which occurs in the Nessler cylinder, it is the barium sulfate precipitate. So you have to compare how much turbidity is produced in the sample as well as standard. So if the turbidity produced in the test or sample is less than the turbidity produced in the standard, that means it passes the limit test. That means it is in the given limit according to the Indian Pharmacopoeia. The given limit test passes. So it is actually prepared by barium chloride in alcohol and a very small quantity of potassium sulfate. So barium chloride reagent is prepared in alcohol and we are adding small little quantity of potassium sulfate. I will tell why we are adding potassium sulfate and alcohol. The solutions used for limit test should be prepared from the distilled water only. Already told, if you use tap water, tap water already contains some of the ions and impurities which are not permissible to do the limit test according to IP. And the presence of potassium sulfate in the given reagent. Why we use potassium sulfate? Because it increases the sensitivity of the test. And why we have to add small amount of alcohol used to prevent the supersaturation of the given sample, and it keeps barium sulfate as the turbidity, right? That's why we are going to add small amount of alcohol. And coming to the apparatus required for limit test for sulfates, we require two Nessler cylinders. One is for test, another is for standard. Second one, Nessler stand. Third one, beaker. Fourth one, stirrer, pipette, and glass rod. And we also require chemicals for limit test for sulfate. Chemicals are barium chloride, potassium sulfate, dilute hydrochloric acid. These are the three chemicals required for limit test for sulfate. So coming to the principle involved in limit test for sulfate. Limit test for sulfate is based on the reaction between soluble sulfate ions and precipitating agent, that is barium chloride. So barium chloride is used as a precipitating agent which produces turbidity in the solution due to formation of barium sulfate. So when barium chloride comes in contact with sulfate, right, soluble sulfate, it converts into barium sulfate precipitate. And these identify presence of sulfate ions qualitatively. Dilute hydrochloric acid, which is used to keep the barium sulfate precipitate in the solution. Why we are using dilute hydrochloric acid is already told. We have to keep or to precipitate other acid radicals in the solution. We are adding dilute hydrochloric acid. Therefore, a greater number of sulfate ions in the solution produce intense turbidity in the standard solution. So if there are more sulfate ions in the solution, then there is more turbidity. If there is less number of sulfate ions in the solution, then it is, we will get the less turbidity. So coming to the procedure in the limit test for sulfate is, so you have to take two Nessler cylinders and first you have to mark it as a test and standard. After marking it as a test and standard, take the Nessler cylinder test, dissolve the, in that you have to dissolve or add little quantity of sample and put into some distilled water. You have to add 5 to 10 ml distilled water in that. And in standard, you have to take 1 ml of standard sulfate solution of potassium sulfate, or you can take sodium sulfate in the standard Nessler cylinders. And second step, from this step, the test and standard both are common. So coming to the second step, add 2 ml of dilute hydrochloric acid to both the Nessler cylinders. Third step is we have to add 5 ml of barium chloride reagent in both the Nessler cylinders, and you have to stir it with the glass rod. After that, after stirring for some time, you have to make up to the volume up to 50 ml by using distilled water and allow it to keep it for 5 minutes. You have to keep it aside for 5 minutes. After keeping it for 5 minutes, you have to check the observations. So observations are, when you see two Nessler cylinders, sample and standard, or you can say test and standard, the turbidity produced in sample is less than the turbidity produced in standard Nessler cylinders. If this is the process happening in the two Nessler cylinders, then the limit test for sulfate passes for the given sample. So you can see in the two Nessler cylinders in the diagram, sample is having less turbidity and standard is having more turbidity. That means hence the limit test for sulfate passes for the sample. And in another sample, if you take sample 2, in this, what you can say, we have to follow the same procedure what I told for limit test for sulfate. After following all those steps, the observations observations are the turbidity produced in sample is more than the turbidity produced in standard Nessler cylinder. You can check here. It is exactly opposite of the sample what you have taken previously, right? If you check two Nessler cylinders, sample is having more turbidity when it is compared to the turbidity present in the standard. So what it depicts, it shows that the limit test for sulfate fails for the sample, right? Why it is happening? Because the sample is having more turbidity when it is compared to the standard Nessler cylinder. So this is the simple technique how to find the whether given sample is having sulfate impurity. Thank you.